Hello, one of my recent videos was discussing games that were hyped up initially, but saw a very rocky launch and ultimately were dead on arrival or pretty quickly into their lifespan. Today I thought we'd do a complete 180 and look at games that had the greatest comeback stories in gaming history. These games started off shaky, but managed to turn things around and become beloved by many, so let's take a look at 10 games that I've found. Number 1, No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky released in 2016 and faced backlash for missing features and technical issues. Despite a really strong start with over 200,000 players, it saw a rapid decline. Halo Games have committed to extensive updates, all for free, adding promised features and more, and today it has a vibrant community and is often cited as one of the greatest gaming comebacks. As of right now, No Man's Sky's 24-hour peak on Steam is 40,000, and they just released a new trailer for an update that is coming to the game, so that number will probably skyrocket when that drops as well. Number 2 is Final Fantasy XIV. Final Fantasy XIV launched in 2010 to negative reviews due to its numerous issues. With a peak of around 60,000 players at launch, it quickly dwindled. Square Enix shut down and reworked the game completely, re-releasing it in 2013 as A Realm Reborn. The game now boasts millions of active users and is a shining example of how to turn a failure into a success over time. On Steam, Final Fantasy XIV in the last 30 days alone has saw a player increase of 14,000 players. Personally, it's been a long time since I hopped into a Final Fantasy game, so I might have to check this one out myself. Number 3 on today's list is Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege had a lukewarm reception in 2015 with only around 18,000 peak concurrent players. However, Ubisoft's dedication to regular updates, new content, and community feedback turned the game around, and now it's one of the biggest titles in FPS esports, with a peak concurrent player count of around 200,000 players. And as of this recording, the 24-hour peak is 65,000. Not bad at all. The game, however, is losing players. It has yet to see a rise in player count since March of this year, where it had 105,000 concurrent players. All in all, the game has been out for 10 years, and I think it's had a pretty good run. Number 4 today is Warframe. Warframe launched in 2013 with little fanfare, struggling with low player numbers. Digital Extremes continuously updated the game, listening to their players' feedback and adding new content. Over time, Warframe gained a loyal following and now boasts millions of registered users and a thriving community. Seeing that this game's player count was 8,000 just a couple of years ago, and currently, as I'm recording this video, is now 64,000 is a massive achievement for the studio. Its all-time peak is 181,000 concurrent players. It's also one of the most reviewed games on Steam, with 600,000 user reviews. Number 5 on today's list is Destiny 2. Destiny 2 launched in 2017 and it had mixed reviews. It saw a decline in its initial player base as a result of this, and Bungie decided to address all the issues through expansions and shifting to a free-to-play model in 2019. This strategy worked, bringing in millions of new players and revitalizing the game. It's worth noting that Destiny 2's player count is one of the most fluctuant games that I've seen, with player counts drastically increasing and decreasing every season, with tens of thousands of players hopping off and hopping on. With a bit of research, we can associate this with the content drops and expansions that were released for the game. Number 6 today is The Elder Scrolls Online, one I've actually played. The Elder Scrolls Online launched in 2014, 10 years ago. It was underwhelming, many players leaving soon after. Bethesda decided to improve the game significantly through multiple expansions and updates, and their efforts paid off. Now it has millions of active players every month and is a major MMORPG contender. A major factor in the Elder Scrolls Online's player count is the amount of platforms it's available for. It is available for 8 platforms as of right now. These are PlayStation 4, Xbox Cloud Gaming, GeForce Now, Windows, Xbox One, the Series X and S, Google Stadia, and macOS. As of to date, the total number of downloads that The Elder Scrolls Online is estimated to have is roughly 24.25 million. Number 7, Diablo 3. Diablo 3's 2012 launch was a rocky one, hit by server issues and a controversial auction house. Blizzard fixed these problems, released the Reaper of the Souls expansion, and removed the auction house. The game recovered, selling over 30 million copies after these events and regaining its player base. Although this game is 12 years old, it still has an estimated 22,500 players online as of right now. And in the last 30 days, 47,000 hours of Twitch content has been watched on Diablo 3. It's also worth noting the estimated insane amount of active daily players over the past 30 days, which is 2 million. If I had to guess why this game is still popular, I'd say it's probably because Diablo 4 didn't live up to expectations and has a very low player count of 4,000 people. Number 8 is one you've probably all heard of by now, Cyberpunk 2077. It faced severe backlash at its 2020 launch due to numerous bugs and performance issues, especially on last-gen hardware and consoles. CD Projekt Red committed to an extensive patches and updates, gradually improving the game. Its comeback was solidified by a resurgence in player numbers and positive reviews over the past few years. This game is one of the biggest modern comeback stories I've ever seen. The game currently has a 90% positive rating on Steam and has 667,000 reviews. It's one of the most downloaded games of all time, and keep in mind, this game is like $60. And while it's never come close to the insane 830,000 concurrent players it had at launch, it has done a valiant effort. The highest player count recorded last year was around 300,000. A pretty good comeback if you ask me. It's also worth noting that this game is now almost 4 years old. Time really does fly. Anyway, number 9 is Among Us. Among Us launched in 2018 to very little attention, peaking at only a few hundred players. In 2020, the pandemic and streamers brought it into the spotlight, leading a massive player surge. At its peak, it had over 1.5 million concurrent players, with 500,000 of those being on Steam alone. It's also worth noting how successful the mobile version of this game was. 530 million downloads on mobile. And its biggest month was September of 2020, getting 42 million downloads in just 1 month. Among Us isn't as popular in player count today, however, content and streams on YouTube or Twitch made with this game still get very high numbers. You can find popular creators such as Sykuno, 5up and Disguised Toast getting hundreds of thousands of views on Among Us content, and the Sidemen, who get millions of views. In just 3 days, their latest Among Us video has 4 million views. It seems like Among Us really stuck around as the game for creators to play and make content on, and the game for viewers to watch. And finally, number 10. It's the game that you all know. It's Fortnite Battle Royale. Initially launched as just Fortnite Save the World, it started in 2017 as a PvE game, but struggled to gain traction. The introduction of the Battle Royale mode changed absolutely everything, catapulting it into massive success. Millions of daily active users, Fortnite still remains today as one of the most popular games in the world, and one of the most popular games of all time. In 2023, the total downloads for Fortnite was around 350 million. I can only assume that it's now over 400 million. And in 2022 alone, Fortnite generated a whopping $4.4 billion in revenue, which was 85% of Epic Games' total revenue for the year. The mobile version, also massive success. Fortnite Mobile hit $1 billion in revenue after 2 years, and 125 million installs. It's also worth noting how big Fortnite still is in the content creator space. In the last 30 days, there has been over 700,000 Twitch streams for Fortnite alone, and the peak viewers on one of these was 216,000 viewers. So those are your 10 games. But wait, there's more. I thought I'd give an honourable mention to a game that I played a lot of, and one that was featured on the channel very recently. Splitgate. Splitgate released in 2019, struggling initially with very low player numbers, going from 11,000 players to just 3-digit numbers in only a couple of months. However, a combination of unique gameplay mechanics and substantial updates led to a massive increase in its popularity in 2021. The game saw a massive surge, reaching over 65,000 concurrent players on Steam alone and gaining widespread attention. Splitgate today is back down to its 3-digit numbers. However, Splitgate 2 was just announced, and I'm sure that game will reach numbers that the original did as well. And there you go, that's it. These games prove that with perseverance, community engagement, and continuous improvement, bug fixes, polishing, and more, even the most troubled launches can turn into success stories. What other comeback stories do you know? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff for more gaming content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.